Understanding is more important than meditation because understanding will help you remember how to initiate meditation, and also use it to extinguish suffering. This clip is for viewing only. It is intended to help you thoroughly understand before listening to the other audio clips and following them step by step. The reason for practicing walking meditation: if we walk as we used to, the brain will work as usual, randomly producing thoughts as it usually does. You may suffer from spontaneous thinking without bothering anyone in the process. On the other hand, during walking meditation, the brain shifts from random thinking to purposeful thinking. External goals are replaced with an internal goal, which is the source of happiness and the alleviation of mental suffering, a type of happiness that the general public has never known. The reason for practicing walking meditation with closed eyes: when you begin practicing mindful walking with your eyes open, you may be easily distracted by visual stimuli and find it difficult to walk in a meditative manner. You may also feel the urge to move out of the way quickly. In contrast, walking mindfully with closed eyes eliminates visual distractions and helps with better foot contact, balance, and control of your movements. This makes it easier to spontaneously concentrate and maintain a calm mind. Even after the walking meditation practice has ended and you open your eyes, the calm state of mind achieved during the practice may persist. Reasons for practicing forward and backward walking meditation. These are the instructions from the Buddha. Feel the sensation of walking forward. Feel the sensation of walking backward. Practically, walking meditation by stepping back and forth has the effect of helping you concentrate faster and easier than usual. Regardless of gender or age. To understand why this is so, it is important to know that a human brain divides its functional areas into parts. The frontal lobes are responsible for producing ideas, whether intentional or random. The parietal lobes are responsible for tactile sensations such as the foot hitting the ground. The temporal lobes work with the parietal lobes to sense position and direction, such as walking forward or backward. The back part of the brain, called the occipital lobe, helps us see and understand what we are looking at, such as recognizing the position of a panoramic view. When we understand that the brain is divided into functional areas like this, we can better explain various internal experiences. For example, if you are lost in thought, it may feel as though the whole world has disappeared, as if you are being sucked into a storm of black holes. This is because the frontal lobes are more active than the rest. You may experience this unconsciously, without any sensory input from your ears, eyes, or body. But if you think while walking, feeling your feet hit the ground, you will feel like you are thinking in the real world. And it will be easier to come out of the storm of confusing thoughts. This is because the parietal lobes work together with the frontal lobes to process sensory information and maintain a sense of presence in the current moment, rather than getting lost in thoughts about the past or future. With the knowledge of how the brain functions, you can better understand what is happening with yourself while practicing walking meditation. For example, when starting to practice, you may feel overwhelmed and not very aware of your steps. This means that the frontal lobes are working more prominently than the rest. You may feel anxious because your forehead muscles are tense from thinking too much, and not being able to differentiate from normal overwhelming thoughts. If you tame yourself not too rushed, gradually becoming familiar with the sensations of walking, the parietal lobes will play a larger role and eventually surpass the front part of your brain in its role. At that point, you will feel relaxed, satisfied, and not overwhelmed by racing thoughts. The relationship between the parietal lobes and the frontal lobes will be balanced, allowing you to be aware of the present moment and not get caught up in thinking about the past or the future. When you have mindfulness, you can clearly change direction and move backwards and forwards accurately, and have good posture. This means that the temporal lobes are starting to work in harmony with the parietal lobes. The frontal lobes will produce less random thoughts. You will feel lightheaded, or even as if your head has disappeared, because the muscles around your head are not tense or even completely relaxed. At that point, the mind will start to be independent from the body, bright and aware, and mindfulness will come from the calm center of the mind. If this becomes normal, you will be able to use it as a tool to deal with whatever comes your way. Equipment to assist in training. We can use equipment to control the distance and direction of walking, such as a yoga mat or foot pads, in order to use the sensation of the feet touching the ground to recognize the starting and ending points of your mat, both forwards and backwards, with a consistent distance, without fear of collision or deviation from the path. This can help adjust the brain's mode of sensory perception and reduce the production of stressful thoughts as fast as possible. Training course. This walking meditation technique involves training both samatha and vipassana simultaneously. Samatha is the practice of calming the mind from distractions and being alert and aware. Please understand simply that originally the mind was bright and shining, but it becomes gloomy because of lust, malice, depression, distraction, and hesitation. When lust, malice, depression, distraction, and hesitation can be lost, the mind becomes peaceful, firmly established as one, and returns to an open, unwrapped, luminous state, becoming the site of pure consciousness and knowing the truth clearly in front of you. Vipassana is the practice of using a clear and bright mind to see clearly the deceptive things that lead your mind to cling to them unnecessarily. The body is just an illusion that is moving towards disintegration, and no one can stop it. Thoughts are just fleeting clouds that come and go. There is no one present in each thought to feel sorrow or grief for. The mind is just a consciousness that varies all day and night. There is no one in a mind. Having such clear awareness gives a feeling of having an I in the formless, ethereal, and quietly isolated state. This I observes the body, thoughts, and state of the mind, seeing them as separate from each other. As long as this kind of conscious mind remains, there will not be any suffering or sorrow emerged from body, thoughts, or emotions. The training program will progress from easy to difficult, divided into primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. The primary level of training is designed to help you develop basic concentration and relaxation skills. It is not the same as the advanced Vipassana meditation techniques, which are designed to help you develop insight into the true nature of reality. It's also encouraging to know that the benefits of this level can be experienced within just 10 minutes, even for those who are just starting to practice. The primary level starts with standing upright and placing the middle of the soles of the feet on one end of the mat. Keep the eyes open straight and place the hands behind the back or on the chest or belly. The goal is to keep the hands from being too relaxed while walking. Then, you will practice walking backwards until you reach the other end of the mat, forgetting about the eyes, to get familiar with the sensations from the feet. This will make you believe that you can walk backwards until you reach the end without looking down. Then, you will practice walking forwards and then backwards repeatedly until you feel familiar with the sensations. Finally, you will be able to close your eyes with confidence in your ability to feel the sensation of your feet to tell when you reach the ends of the mat. Then, you will train your mind to gradually become more aware and focused. The mind should not be agitated or distracted by thoughts or imagination, but rather be calm and naturally focused. To begin, focus on the feeling of exhaling and feel your body getting lighter. Use this feeling of lightness to walk slowly backwards until you reach the end of the mat. This step helps you become more aware of the sensations in your body as you walk backward. Then, it's time to focus on the sensation of the feet as you walk slowly forward until you reach the end of the mat. This step helps you become more aware of the important sensations of walking. Then, you will practice feeling the sensation of your entire back as you slowly walk backwards. This step helps you begin to become aware of the direction behind you. Then, raise your chin slightly to train in feeling the sensation of your feet pressing against the ground altogether with the tip of your chin at the same time as you walk forward. This step helps you become aware of the sensation of emptiness, which arises from the gap between the sensation of your feet pressing and the tip of your chin. Then, it's time to train in maintaining the sensation of emptiness while walking slowly backwards, while also keeping the tips of your chin raised. This step helps you become aware of the sensation of emptiness from the center. Next, you will train in maintaining the sensation of emptiness while opening your eyes. This step helps to cultivate mindfulness and alertness upon waking up, as well as create a foundation for using mindfulness throughout the day. The secondary level of training is designed to help you achieve established concentration and to practice vipassana meditation, which involves the ability to distinguish between the physical body, the mental activity of thoughts, and the underlying consciousness. The awareness of these phenomena help you experience the world differently with clearer and more focused mind. It's also important to note that the benefits of this level of training can be experienced within just 1 month if you practice consistently. This level of training should be started after successfully completing the primary level, which will be indicated by signs such as good body posture and the ability to feel the sensation of emptiness arising from the center. You'll begin with training in walking faster by tapping the feet more frequently. This can help increase awareness and alertness by focusing on the sensation of the feet tapping on the ground more intensely. The next step is to practice noticing the tension or relaxation in the body while walking faster. This can help establish a connection between the body and the mind, where feeling tense or tight may indicate that the mind is agitated or strained, while feeling relaxed may indicate mindfulness and alertness. This practice can ultimately lead to a more awakened and aware state of being. The next step is to practice bringing a sense of openness to the forefront of your mind while gazing directly ahead with closed eyes as you walk forward. This step helps to experience the feeling of openness or space in front of you. Once you've successfully cultivated a sense of openness at the forefront of your mind, the ripple effect will likely activate a sense of openness at the rear of your mind, too. This helps you understand how your mind tends to be trapped in a narrow, cramped frame of the brain, or whether it can be free and open when it emerges from confusion. The next step is to practice noticing that the open state of mind and the physical body are not the same. The body is physical, with a head, arms, and legs, occupying space in the air. The mind is mental, appearing as a single consciousness without a fixed shape. If it is not focused, it will scatter. If it is focused, it will know how to become an open state from the center of awareness. This helps to create initial awareness of the body and mind as distinct but interconnected entities. The next step is to practice noticing that after having an awareness of the separation between body and mind, your mind becomes open like empty air. Your thoughts will come and go like sand, cannot stay in empty air. This helps to understand that the mind and thoughts are naturally different from each other. The mind is a single consciousness, while thoughts are like randomly pouring sands from the brain. If the mind does not fixate onto the waves of thoughts, those thoughts will pass by and eventually dissipate like decaying cloud in the air. The next step is to practice noticing that when you can distinguish your thoughts from your mind, you can use the position of the ends of the mat to compare whether your thoughts are weak and gradually decreasing or strong and increasing. This helps you clearly understand that thoughts are like clouds that cannot take on a fixed form. They arise from the imbalance of the waves of thoughts before and dissolve into the waves of thoughts afterwards. No thought cloud is truly the self of anyone. The next step is to practice noticing that when the mind is open and without clinging thoughts, a state of peace and stillness arises. And the mind may appear as a bright light from the center of the chest. You may feel empty and hollow in your chest like a big donut, or a vast bright space filling the room, or a feeling of expansion beyond the room into the vastness of the sky. This helps you recognize that when the mind is open and free from clinging thoughts, it can manifest in various ways. Sometimes bright and clear, sometimes dark or dim, sometimes vast and open, and sometimes narrow or close. None of these manifestations are the true self of anyone. The next step is practicing awareness of an open mind in the chest while gradually opening the eyes, rather than opening them suddenly with a feeling of self coming from the head. When you can regularly practice this, you will have a model of an open and aware mind to apply in your daily life. For example, you may notice the mind becoming agitated when you encounter negative stimuli such as unpleasant sights or sounds. However, if you are able to regularly maintain an open and aware mind, this agitation will not persist for long and will eventually dissipate. This state of mind is similar to that achieved during walking meditation, even if it is experienced while in daily life. The tertiary level of training is designed to help you achieve grand concentration and awareness, allowing you to see how body and mind function and understand how the delusion of a self is formed. Through Vipassana meditation, you can learn to see body and mind as they truly are, without imposing your desires on them, and to experience a sense of selflessness rather than selfhood. With consistent practice, you may experience a glimpse of perfect bliss within a year, including the possibility of attaining nirvana. It is also possible to permanently eliminate mental suffering for good in this lifetime. This level of training should begin after successfully completing the secondary level, which will show signs such as the mind being aware of itself normally, whether in meditation or in daily life. The tertiary level starts with constantly observing the mind according to the teachings of the Buddha. Don't let your attention wander too much to the point of becoming lax. Don't pay attention too much to the point of tension. Don't let yourself overly attach to the dismal within you. Don't let your mind wander externally. Pay attention to both the front and the rear. Recognize that the openness in both is the same. Pay attention to both the above and the below. Recognize that the openness in both is the same. Notice that the brightness of the mind can be the same whether it be day or night. You have an open mind with nothing to wrap it. Train your mind to shine brightly. Once your mind is open and free from worry, shields, and feelings of ignorance, you will have a powerful tool to overcome misguided clinging whether eyes are open or closed, day or night. At a point, after enough strength accumulation, the mind will blurt out from an unseen bulb. Experience bursting forth. Feels like flipping from the old universe into the new one, another kind of nature and dimension that has no emergence and destruction. Like a chick who destroys the shell of the egg with its feet and beak is able to see the world outside. Once you understand well, listen and follow the instructions provided in the guiding audio clip. Start with the primary level, then move on to the secondary level, and end with the tertiary level. First, you should listen, learn it by doing it till you remember it firmly. After that, you can walk quietly without audio guides.